Hey, it's Jason Linett, and I'm talking Hypnotic Business Systems, and we're here with Michelle Delude. Michelle, how are you?
I'm doing great, Jason. How are you?
Excellent. And for those that don't yet know you, could you briefly introduce yourself, please?
My business is Destinations Hypnosis in the Portland, Oregon area. And although I have been doing hypnosis full time since 2007, the clinic I was working with closed, and I've only been on my own for about 3 years.
Yeah. And you've been inside of Hypnotic Business Systems for quite a while now. Could you share some of the highlights that it's created inside of your business?
Wow. First, that set it and forget it mindset really helped me stay focused on building systems rather than trying to see one client at a time,
Yeah.
thinking about one client at a time, thinking of each client as a single event, putting those systems into place and being able to just automatically go through a process really freed me up to be more creative in other areas. So
Mhm.
that was huge.
That's something I want to highlight here that, many people in our industry look at the work they do with their client and the work they do in terms of keeping the business afloat as two completely different things. But if we can automate so much of that business stuff that, let's say, the forms are taken care of, the reminders are taken care of, and we're not kind of working, as you said, event to event, that frees us up to actually do the work with our clients even better.
And I have systems now for everything, for live networking, for talks. Very early on, there was a question about in the Facebook group, which is so helpful. There was a question about health fairs,
Mhm.
and that really helped me build a checklist for doing those kinds of events too, and
Well, let's
automating
branch off of that
those.
for a moment because that's one where the catchphrase of that section is be the expert, not the vendor. That there's so
Right.
many people who are just standing there waiting for people to come to the table. What is it that you were putting into motion to change the dynamic of that health fair?
I don't do health fairs. I only do talks where I can be at an event and be delivering the content that's going to be useful to that audience. So I
Nice.
don't do rotaries and things like that, but there's chamber events and events sponsored by the chamber where they have experts come in and talk about things.
Hmm.
And so those are the kinds of things, just because of that kind of advice, those are the kinds of things that I've targeted, and they've been very beneficial for me.
Nice. Which I know you've done great with the networking when you were on the podcast. We had you talk about that. Could you talk about some of the results from the networking mindset?
Well, the networking mindset means that you're focusing on delivering information in really small chunks. And I don't know about other people, but I have trouble getting down to that granular level.
Hmm.
You talk over and over about selling the next step. And that's really key in networking because it's not like you meet the love of your life and say, hey, let's get married the same day that you see them.
Yeah.
No, you have a little chat, you find out what they like, you ask them if they want to have coffee, maybe coffee leads to lunch, maybe lunch means, I mean, there's a progression. And so networking, that was huge for me. And the other people who have been really successful networking have that same kind of mindset. And it's led to my office space. It's led to joint ventures. It's led to friendships that continue even after people have moved on. The relationships remain, and they are I mean, they're profitable. They're
Mhm.
profitable and they're pleasurable. I mean, it's just great to be able to help people lift their business and have them encourage and uplift mine.
That's something you highlighted there that I think is worth mentioning, which uh, the fact that, yes, we can use the networking environment to grow our businesses, promote specific offers that we want to create, sell the next step based on one specific offer. Though as soon as you said that, it made me suddenly jump to the fact of we're looking at moving in the next year. The mortgage broker is someone I knew from a chamber meeting. The person who renovated this entire office I'm now in, I knew from that group. My accountant, I knew from that group. We got an alert that we hadn't yet updated the insurance on the mortgage here at the office, and that was Dave, who I knew from the same group as well. So that ability that it does streamline so much of our life beyond just the shape of getting more clients.
Absolutely.
Yeah. You had something to highlight, though, with the phone process that inside of business systems, I teach exactly what to do once we're on the phone call with that client and how to navigate them from curious shopper to coming in for services. Could you elaborate on that, please?
That 500K phone process, I've seen other people really tout it. One of the things I love about that is that it's kind of a meta example of all of business systems.
Mm-hmm.
It it gives you the language. It tells you why that language is important. It talks about selling the next step within a phone call just to guide the conversation. Uh, I love the fact that it talks about testing prices, which you have a whole module on testing prices,
Yes.
but that's in the 500K phone process. Um, no shows, you have a whole module on no more no shows, but that's in that 500K phone process as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I just really love the fact that everything ties together in that particular module. It's kind of it's kind of an overview of the whole system.
I was looking for the phrase greatest hits, but we'll take overview.
Yeah.
No, it's where it really becomes this whole system that everything fits together. And the benefit becomes is that whatever the next platform of social media is 10 years from now, we can apply the same logic and the same thinking because the human to human relationship is not going to change.
You're always saying that it's not about the platform, it's about the system.
Mhm.
And I think that's really uh, brought forth in that particular module about the phone strategy, because you talk about how your language changes over time, how at first you use this and then you use this. And it's really lovely the way things evolve. And I appreciate the fact that that institutional memory is there in hypnotic business systems
Yes.
as well, because you talk about what worked for you when you were first starting out and how you evolved. And it makes it really clear that it's not about the platform, it is about the strategy. And that's really helpful for people who they're just opening their hypnosis practice or they want to take it to the next level. And I've seen those people in there as well. And that's really inspiring and something to learn from. And that's something that I got from, you did um, a product thing. I can't remember the name
Yeah,
of
we
it
did a
exactly.
hypnotic product creation webinar. It's like a 4-part series.
That was crazy helpful for
Yeah.
me because people were talking about how they were using the information. And I was going, you can do that? That's awesome. It was something that never would have occurred to me. And I began to see how people were taking the same information, using it in different ways, and how I could use that same strategy to develop my own personal projects for my business. So that was amazing.
Outstanding. Before we wrap this up, of course, thank you for joining me here. Any final thoughts for those out there looking to grow their hypnosis businesses?
Just that this is a system that is evergreen. It isn't a one and done thing. As soon as you put one piece into place, you can move on to another piece, or you can take that first piece and take it to the next level. It really is evergreen. It can be reused over and over, and for any level of business. That's what I love about it. One of the things I love about it.